This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Coming up this hour on Sunrise, Washington's effort to ban the sale, transfer, and making of assault weapons. We'll have the details on the state's latest step towards that end coming up in just a minute. Plus,
this is so tiny. This is like a walk-in refrigerator at Buckingham Palace. I mean, look.
That is the former head chef for the late Queen of England. Are you kidding me? Now he runs a food truck in Vancouver.
Really?
His story and where you can try these British fish and chips. Rod, that's coming up at 5:15.
I think Rod's reaction was the same we had last week when Devin told us about this story. So again, details on that in a minute, but you got to wash that fish and chips down with something. How about washing it down with some cider?
I thought you were going to say rain.
Okay, rain details in a minute. Fish and chip details a little bit later. Right now, we tell you about Portland Cider Company because they are celebrating their 10th anniversary of making cider here in Portland this very month. We'll have more details from their Clackamas location coming up here a little bit later on Sunrise.
Hey, good Monday morning, everyone. I'm not a beer drinker, so I'm super interested in the cider this morning.
Yeah.
Maybe not at this hour, a little bit later, though.
Welcome back. Man, what's your problem?
I wouldn't say this hour's fine. This hour's fine if you're still in bed. Congratulations if you are.
Yeah. Good morning. Another rainy day. Today, a lot like yesterday. The rain's expected to eventually get a little heavier today than it was yesterday. Here it is on radar right now. There are some heavy rain rates. Look at Longview getting hammered. This one little fetch up here, right there. See the bright colors? That's heavy rain. Otherwise, just widespread, kind of moderate rain coming down. We don't have a lot of wind. We are pretty socked in. If you look at the Wells Fargo building, the clouds are low, the rain's coming down. We're at 50 degrees. That feels great as you start your day, but the temperature will hold right about 50 throughout the day. I don't really budget at all. Not expecting any flooding concerns, no storms. It's just a rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. Back to you.
Rod, thank you. Well, Washington is getting closer to banning the sale, transfer, and manufacture of assault weapons. The state Senate passed a bill to do exactly that on Saturday.
This bill still needs final approval from the State House and a signature from Governor Jay Inslee, although the governor already said he will support it. Here's KGW's Evan Watson with more.
Washington state lawmakers are set to ban the sale, transfer, and manufacture of assault weapons in the state. The Senate passed House Bill 1240 on Saturday with a 27-21 vote. Notably, this bill doesn't affect people who already own guns, like AR-15s, AK-47s, and M16s.
So I think this took that out and it opened up the conversation so that we could focus on what we really wanted to do, which is to stop the flow of these types of weapons into the state of Washington.
State Senator Yasmin Trudeau, a Democrat who supported the bill, says this is just one step.
And no single bill is going to address gun violence at large. But we know that there is a direct correlation between mass shootings and the types of weapons that are being banned under this bill.
Bills to ban automatic or semi-automatic guns have failed to pass in Washington for years. Republicans have blamed mental health for mass shootings and said the ban would restrict gun access for legal and responsible gun owners.
The legislators that I work with do exemplify responsible gun ownership. I think that there are a lot of people that do. But again, we don't legislate for those with the best behavior. We legislate for the worst behavior. So that is because we want to protect our community at large.
Trudeau says this bill is moving forward because it's not focused on current gun possession, but future sales and transfers. She also says Democrats have stronger majorities in both chambers, and the support for an assault weapons ban is mounting with the frequency of mass shootings.
It's the urgency and it's the fact that we've got the political support and political will.
The bill has exemptions for law enforcement agencies and military members. If passed, it's expected to be challenged in court.
We make determinations all the time on balance with public safety. So it's not just about, well, I want this, so I should get it. It's like, what are we allowing people to do that also impact their neighbor? Because we don't live in the wild, wild west. We don't live independent from our community. We live in communities with everybody else. My neighbor is just as important as I am.
Evan Watson, KGW News.
A deadly stabbing in southeast Portland marked the city's 22nd homicide of the year. Police say they responded to southeast Washington and Water Avenue just after 6:30 last night and found a man's body. One person is in custody right now, and police say they are not looking for any other suspects. We'll certainly keep you updated as we learn more.
That was just one of many calls that kept Portland police busy over the weekend. KGW's Brian Clerkley has more on the list of crimes that included stolen cars and a shooting.
This was the scene Saturday night along 68th and North Fessenden Street in the St. John's neighborhood. Portland police say a 25-year-old man was shot and seriously injured just before 11 p.m. Andy, who doesn't want us to use his last name, works across the street from where the shooting happened. He took this video of the multiple police cars and flashing lights. He says the crime is just getting worse.
There hasn't been a police presence here in St. John's as much as there was, and crime's just kind of out of control. They don't respond unless somebody is shot. You know, they'll call back with a report number, and that's about it. They won't even show up. We've gotten robbed and shot at.
Saturday was a busy day for shootings in Portland. In the afternoon, there was evidence of a shooting on Southeast Reedway Street. These photos were provided by a viewer. Police have not released a lot of the information on what happened. Also on Saturday, on Southeast 67th and Woodstock Boulevard, a 14 and 15-year-old were arrested for attempting to steal cars from passing drivers. The suspects were flagging down drivers by telling them their cars were leaking fluids. The teens were able to steal a car from a woman. Officers later spotted the stolen vehicle on Southeast 82nd and Clinton Streets. Police say the teens eluded officers and the air support unit before ditching the stolen car. The suspects forced their way into a home where police evacuated the people inside and then arrested the teens. Along with the shootings and stolen cars, several guns were also taken off the streets by the Focused Intervention Team. These are photos of the weapons provided by the Portland police. In all, there were 7 arrests and 3 were juveniles. Bryant Clerkley, KGW News.
This morning, this ship fire has people in the Tacoma area sheltering in place because of the smoke. This fire broke out on the Kodiak Enterprise Saturday morning. The U.S. Coast Guard says the ship is carrying 55,000 gallons of diesel and 19,000 pounds of Freon. No word yet how the fire started, but no one was hurt.
All right, before we get to Rod's Monday forecast, we're taking a look back at your Easter Sunday. Viewers shared their photos with us on the KGW Facebook page. Let's start with Diane, who shared this one of her dogs, Ruthie and Lola. And they look like they're like, hey, could you please take our picture? They've got those Easter bandanas around their necks. Another dog here. This one from viewer Brian. Is that a dog? Or is that a rabbit? I'm very confused. I think the dog is too. We have one more here from Heather. Heather was at a neighborhood Easter egg hunt out in Maplewood. The hunt, she says, included 60 kids and 1,500 plus eggs. Well, that's a lot of eggs for those kids. But get this, according to Heather, it took just over 2 minutes for those 1,500 plus eggs to be gobbled up by the kids. Please send your photos from your Easter Sunday activities. You can share them on our Facebook page. You can also text them to 503-226-5088.
Perhaps the hiding skills need to be better.
Yeah, this isn't hiding an egg.
No, well, hey, we saw lots of people in our neighborhood. Their kids were out doing their little egg hunts in their yards.
Yeah.
The rain didn't bother them one bit.
It was just kind of a gentle rain yesterday, most hours, right? It really wasn't bad to be out. Today will either be, well, it should be a little bit heavier, but again, not stormy. It's just going to be raindrops falling throughout the day. We began with this graphic. Rain most hours today and tonight. It will finally break up overnight tonight behind a cold front that comes in. Now, weather models so far have been spitting out way more than what we've actually been picking up. Those models say that if you go back to yesterday through tonight, we would end up with 1.5 inches to about 2 inches. We only picked up 1/2 inch of rain yesterday, so we'll really need to get things going today if we're going to get up to those totals. That was Futurecast later this afternoon. I'll show you the entire movie coming up. But here's a fetch of moisture fueling into us right now. Pretty much widespread rain here on the west side of our state. It does leak into central Washington when you go up to the north. We got the heavier rain up around Longview right now, but otherwise all the green is kind of a mix of light to moderate rain coming down across the area. Temperatures really didn't budge last night. We're at 50 right now in Portland, but we're not going to budge during the day. We'll just kind of stay around 50 degrees throughout the day. And by the way, it's going to be in the 60s to even 70s out across eastern Oregon today, where there won't be much rain in many areas. John Day down to Burns will probably stay completely dry. So this fetch of moisture is mainly here on the west side. Now it is getting out into the gorge and it is getting up over the Cascades, but that's this morning. Here we are at 5 p.m. Again, nothing really changes. Here we are this evening. Nothing really changes. Then eventually overnight tonight, yeah, it breaks into scattered showers. Here we are tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Snow levels right now are above 6,000 feet, meaning it's raining up at Timberline. Those snow levels will come down as low as 5,000 feet later this afternoon, but generally it's just going to be rain over Cascade Passes again today. Here's the 7-day. The rainy day today, 50 to 53. It's a scattered shower pattern the next couple of days. It could produce some hail, maybe a rumble of thunder, sunbreaks mixed in. Thursday looks to be pretty dry, really, but still cool, a high of only 52. Then we go dry. Friday could be the first completely dry day of April so far. Applause? Anybody? Anybody? Thank you, Mr. Who was that? Brenda was clapping. 58, 68 Saturday. Now, if a front holds off until Monday, we could hit 71 on Sunday.
I am very much in. I'll believe it when I see it, Mo.
5 ifs.
Was that 5 ifs?
Yes.
Well, it may turn into 6 by tomorrow. We'll see.